Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another video. So this one is going to be going through my kind of audio setup that I'm going to be using for OBS. So what this may allow us to do is I set up like audio ducking. So if I play this, for example, and if I say nothing, and then if I start saying something, you should hear the video, like this audio is starting to duck, like right here, you should see it. So if I start saying something again, it should duck down, which is pretty cool. I didn't know that this was possible in OBS, but looks like it is. So how I set that up is, on the microphone, if you right click here, if you go into filters, so for here, the first filter I'm using is noise suppression. So you just, click add and then you can add some filters. And so what noise suppression does is, like, for example, oh, what the hell? Pause. Is if I don't say anything, you should see that the bar is like empty. And then if I turn this off, you should have heard like the fans from my PC and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's what noise suppression does. This is pretty good. And then finally the compressor. You can set this up like however you like. I recommend you watch some tutorials or whatever, but you mostly want to change this threshold and this output gain. Now my output gain is pretty high because my microphone is actually fairly quiet. So you kind of want to be hitting around here for kind of like the best kind of audio, if you know what I mean. You don't want to be hitting red at all. So yeah, try and adjust this and this until you get your mic like around here. So that's that. The attack and release is how quickly this compressor kicks in. And now for the microphone, we won't use any sidechaining or whatnot, or ducking. But if we go into the desktop audio filters, for desktop audio, I'm only using the compressor because you don't really need noise reduction for audio, since this is coming, from the video games or whatnot. So from here, I turned up the ratio all the way up, and the threshold, this determines how much it ducks, basically. The attack and release determines how quickly and how slowly it releases. And then the output gain is like the maximum kind of loudness. So I turned this all the way down so that it kind of matches more with my mic, if you know what I mean. And then the sidechain ducking source I put into mic. So this means when like there's output here, it will use that output to decrease the output of this as well. So if I play some stuff here, you will see that it's decreasing. And if I increase the threshold from -41 to like all the way down, so you should see that it's going to decrease it even further. So I found it to be like -41-ish to be kind of the sweet spot for my kind of setup. And then the attack is how quick it starts decreasing it. You don't want it too quick because it sounds weird. And the release, you would want that kind of more, so that it kind of like after you stop talking, the audio kind of slowly returns back to the original volume, as you can see here. So for example, if I increase the release from 157 all the way to 700, you should see that it like comes back a lot slower, like so. And if I push it down all the way to like 1 millisecond, the second I stop talking, it should come back. So like as you can see, you can barely see any difference here. So I find that like 150, 160 is like pretty good. And attack, you kind of want to keep it, you don't want it too low as well, because then the audio is going to sound like quite wavy. You might even want to increase it to like 84, 85 or something like that. So that way when I talk, it doesn't like start, you know, straight away. But I think like around 40 is good for me. I think anyway. I'll have to play around with these a little bit more. But yeah, that's how you could kind of like create a really good audio setup. So that way you can just record stuff in here in OBS, and you don't really have to like worry about editing it after, if you know what I mean. It's also really good if you're streaming. Now, I don't really do streaming yet anyway. I don't know if I will, but so yeah, that's how you would set it up nicely. And then, you know, if you stop, like, there's no change in the mic, so the mic is always constant. It's only the desktop audio that's like, what you call it, getting reduced when you're talking, which is really good. That way your voice should always be clear, like no matter what, which is nice. So yeah, hope you guys like that quick tip. If you want to avoid video editing. This is pretty cool. This audio ducking feature, yeah. It's actually not in what is this shit? The Adobe Premiere Pro. It is in the other one. The fucking I forgot what it's called. The what is it? Adobe Premiere Pro alternative. What's the other one? Because I remember I used it on Linux because it's the kind of best one on Linux. Let's see this here. Do they have it? Yeah, DaVinci Resolve. That's the one. So DaVinci Resolve. This one actually has this audio ducking kind of feature. Well, like you can set it up nicely, but on Adobe you can't, which is really annoying. So so this way, if you're using Adobe, well, I'm using Adobe for editing anyway, because I don't know, I'm just more used to it, I suppose. Well, I suppose I should really start using DaVinci Resolve, but fuck it, I don't care. So yeah, especially if you're using Adobe, this feature is very handy. You don't need to like fuck around with your audio that much anymore. So that's pretty nice. This isn't only useful for gaming. Like, I mean, you could set this up. So mostly I do tutorials like this, for example. So I recently, you know, got a new PC that's actually capable of gamings or of capable of recording gaming. Because before, if I started recording, the game would run like at fucking 15 FPS. Everything else would run at like fucking Jesus, I don't even know, like 6 FPS. So with this new PC, I can actually like record games and stuff. So that's pretty cool. So I never actually looked into this properly because I always used this for I always set this up inside the editing software. Since I wasn't really recording the desktop audio too much, I didn't really care about the auto ducking that much. So yeah. All right. I'll leave you guys here. Thanks for watching and bye bye.